I hate criminality. I can't stand it. I said before, no banks should be touched, no church, no mosque, no business person should be touched. No business person should be touched. None should be touched. We know who our enemies are. Not these people struggling to feed their families. What type of nonsense is that? We cannot touch people who have done nothing to us. That's not how we roll. Do not touch people doing their legitimate businesses, regardless of where they come from. You cannot touch them. Please. So when something happens, we can investigate very quickly and find out. If not that we know who we are, do you think we would have found out that it was Monguno and Britain that killed Ahmed Gulag, you know what, to make it appear as if it is IPOB, so they can start killing our people? You don't understand that? We cannot give our enemies room to demonize what we are doing. That is why we cannot condone any criminal act. We cannot. And by tomorrow, we are going to repair a full lorry load of onions. Money we could have used to do more important things. We are now going to spend compensating the owner of those onions that some fools vandalized.
Indigenous people of Biafra, we are IPOB under one central command, under one leadership, under one directorate, under one coordination all over the world. There is only one indigenous people of Biafra. We are aware now. They want to establish fake groups. They want to deceive you. They want to cheat you. Some idiots may answer IPOB, but you must understand they're not one of us. It is the same thing as Boko Haram wearing police and army uniform to go and kill people. These people are not part of us and can never ever be. How will the products of APC? These are evil men and little boys. We must counter them wherever we see them. They are not IPOB. We have no government. The government of the indigenous people of Biafra is the indigenous people of Biafra. So when the time comes, Biafrans will vote and decide who will govern them. Until then, we are not a government. We are servants of the people, as we shall continually demonstrate. Allow me to repeat what I said before. We are not a government, I tell you. I must warn and caution you. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. There is no government, there is no addition. Of course, we have an embassy, that is true. That embassy is not an organization. We don't run any other website apart from ipob.org. We don't have any other radio station on this earth apart from Radio Biafra. I'm aware that Awasa set up with APC, they set up 1 or 2 radio stations to answer our name as part of their subterfuge and ocean provocateur. But they will not prevail, they will not succeed, they cannot survive the heat because we are ordained, baptized in this very fire of truth and honesty. That is why we preach it without compromise. There is no other way to do it. We are the children of light. That is why we have come. Or should I say, that is why Chukwukika Biama determined that we should come. That is why this evening, as always, we must preach his gospel. No particular. We must preach it to the fullest. Only those who are blessed can partake or participate. Only those that seek knowledge. Only those that seek the light. Only those that seek the truth. The seekers of wisdom.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you and I welcome you wherever you are watching from, wherever you are joining us from. Share the video, invite others to join. Wherever you are watching from, share the video, invite others to join. Of course, oziọma Chineke ka anyị na-agbasa ebe a. If you ọ bụ na ị bụrụ onye eziokwu, isi n'ebe a wezuga onwe gị. That is the slogan. You are welcome. Welcome to this program. Welcome to this program. Share the video. Are you watching on Facebook? Share the video on YouTube. Share the video. Like the video. Follow the page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as we proceed. All right. I believe that you must have seen, what has been transpiring in Nigeria in the last few hours. This always pushed me to play this clip. There is a clip from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that I always want to play. I always love to play here. That clip, it's a clip that he actually reminded all these people. He reminded them that what we are doing is indeed for everybody's liberation. Let me try to play that voice. Listen to this.
All of you never knew that IPOB and this Biafra movement was for your liberation. Some of you saw maybe the oil and gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we'll have access to oil and gas. In the process of having your eyes fixated on oil and gas, your forest is gone. Do you understand it? Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Where are those Hausa people today? Do you see them anymore? They're saying we are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Do you see them again today? Do you see them? I'm asking you. No, because Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. Look at what they're doing in the East. In the East, they come to the East, I will tell you, oh, you want to be the president or vice? Yeah. They say, give us land for Ruga. They give them land. I saw Joseph Okado did that Lord Banta. They've taken it over in forever and ever. Give us land in your state. Hope of them prove to us that you are stood. Give us land in Olu. Hope of them will give them land in Olu. We can go and kill people in Obibo. We can kill for them. How many Fulani governors are prepared to kill bandits? I didn't say normal people. I'm talking about armed, dangerous bandits. How many Fulani governors? Go and read your newspapers, you will see it there. Fulani governors are negotiating with them, giving them arms, giving them vehicles, making sure that...
So, let me cut it short. The reason why I am playing this is for all of you who are all over the place, in denial of, the fact that you are Biafran, and as long as the blood of Biafra flows in your vein, in that Nigeria you will never regarded as a, equal citizen. You will be regarded as an outcast. That is the reason why you will be treated differently. And that is the reason why you have seen them being treated differently. All of them, they never knew that this Biafra movement was for all of our liberation, not only for IPOB or Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Because those of you who are in denial of being a Biafra or not, use what happened to Emiefele to actually tell yourself where you belong. Remember that the reason why I am talking about Emiefele, the reason why I am actually, paying attention to the activities and the ordeal of Emiefele, it is number one, First of all, before they started their attack on him, they labeled it that Emiefele is sponsoring IPOB. Emiefele is sponsoring IPOB. That was the reason, when they said that, I started paying attention. Do you know the reason why I started paying attention? It means there is something that Emiefele was doing. There is something he was saying. There is something that he did, maybe, that made them see him as a supporter of Biafra. Maybe there is something he did. So that is the reason why we continue to talk about this situation. And that in as much as they have labeled him a supporter of Biafra, we will actually support our own, since they have called him our own. Because remember, by birthright, by blood, Emiefele is a Biafran. Even though they might be in denial of it, they will be in denial of it. And as much as or as long as the Fulanis are protecting their own people, as long as Fulanis are protecting their own people, regardless of terrorism, regardless of how terrorist they are, regardless of how many people they have killed, that is the reason why I am talking about Emiefele. Because Emiefele is Biafran. And they, for them to make things more interesting, they say that Emiefele is sponsoring Biafra. For the fact that this is the type of intelligent report that will come out of these guys, it shows that everything that these people called intelligent report in Nigeria, it is all a joke. They don't even know what is intelligent. The only thing the DSS does is to carry weapon of war, to be intimidating people, masking their faces like criminals. That is what the DSS does to the innocent people, and that is how they intimidate the members of the public. Because number one, the real reason why they are masking themselves, they know that what they are doing is actually illegal. And secondly, I am going to tell you, ever since Tinubu occupied the position of power, ever since Tinubu occupied the position of power, have you now been paying attention? Because I told you that they are going to be running a mafia state. And that mafia state is something that is actually, in manifestation. Many of you might not understand what a mafia state is and how it is run. A mafia state is in a situation whereby the leader will be making use of non-state actors. Making use of non-state actors, especially non-state actors that are maybe paramilitary or maybe thugs, or maybe, just like the way Asari Dokubo declared that he is working for Tinubu. That is exactly what it means. They use thugs, gangster, in order to run their day-to-day activities. That is exactly what you are in Nigeria. Have you seen what is happening in Nigeria? Have you seen the way the correctional service officers and the DSS officers, did you see how they were fighting each other? Did you see how they were fighting each other just for who will take this Emiefele? Is it the DSS that is going to take Emiefele, or is it the correctional facility that is going to be taking Emiefele? Now you ask yourself as well, what exactly is the reason why these people are fighting each other? Who is going to be in the charge of this Emiefele's case? Is it the DSS? Is it the Correctional Services Officer? Why? Does it mean that the people in the likes of Emiefele, does it mean that they are, they are taking out money in the facilities where they go? Does it mean that? Or does it mean that the correctional facilities are angry because of how the DSS is detaining the people that correctional facilities are supposed to be detaining? The DSS is doing the job of prison warders. The DSS is doing the job of police. The DSS is doing the job of civil defense. The DSS is doing the job of their bogus intelligence, because that is as a result of their intelligence they told you Emiefele is supporting what we are doing. And we appreciate it. Even if he is not supporting what we are doing, we appreciate the fact that they labeled it against him, because now they are reminding him whom he is, and we will actually spark up that flame, because we will remind him that he is a Biafran, and that is the reason why his scrutiny is actually very special one. Now, if you will remember, when Buhari was in the position of power, there is no decision that will be made, or policy that will be made by Emiefele that is not actually going to be seconded or maybe approved by president, which is the one they call Buhari in the position of power. So after Emiefele and Buhari committed their crime, Buhari went to Daura, abandoning, the scrutiny or the accountability, and the Tinubu and his DSS run after Emiefele immediately, because Emiefele is Biafra, Tinubu is a Fulani, ndị nwe obodo. Are you now seeing the difference? The difference between Tinubu, Buhari, or whoever that was masking himself as Buhari. The reason why we bring all these things all the time, most of the time, it is to continue to remind you that as long as you are still in Nigeria, you will never be regarded as equal shareholder, and nobody will take you seriously. No Victor, no Vanquish was a mere saying just to confuse and convince you so that you will come and be giving them cheap labor. That is the reason why they say to you, no Victor, no Vanquish. And that's exactly the reason why we have risen up to make sure we restore our dignity back upon the face of this planet Earth. If you don't want to join, you will continue to face the calamity that Nigeria will pull on you. We are used as a cheap laborer in Nigeria. There is nothing different from you and a slave. Whether you find yourself in a political space, that is the reason why they will tell Hope Uzodinma, go and kill people, so that you will become a Supreme Court leader. Hope Uzodinma don't mind, and he does not mind killing more just to get into the second term. But it is very, very imperative that people of Imo should reject this APC control system that is actually a killing machine that has displaced so many people from their motherland, from their homes. They have destroyed many properties, intellectual properties. They have destroyed, they have damaged, caused damage to intellectual properties this same Hope Uzodimma and his government that is ruling you from Abuja to Imo State. The same, when you look at all these things, you will ask yourself, what exactly is going on? How can a person call themselves a patriotic Imorite or a patriotic president of a nation, and they are ruling you from somewhere? It is only in Africa you find those nonsense happening. And if you look at it, you will think that these people, you will be, in fact, you will understand that there is nothing good that will, easily come out of a black man leadership. I am not saying it will not come. There is nothing that will easily come from a black man leadership until there will be a revolution, until there will be a paradigm shift in Africa, before you will see them coming. Because everything that they are doing, they are placing their interest first. While the West are placing the interest of their country first, you as a leader of Africa, you are placing your special interest. Either that you are placing it that, no, you want to be the man who challenged the West verbally, or you want to be the one who is speaking it what they want to hear. Or you are going there to get a better deal for yourself so that you have enough to steal. That is the difference between you and the West. They place the interest of the nation where they are governing first. You place your pocket first. That is the reason why you will see a president of Cameroon 40 years in the position of presidency. A president of Cameroon 40 years in the position of presidency, but he is ruling them. Guess what? He is ruling them from French country. He is not ruling them from Cameroon. He is living in a French country, I think in France, ruling them in Cameroon. The same way Hope Uzodimma is living in Abuja, ruling you in Imo State. Then how is he going to now know what they need to do in order to help themselves? How will they know the challenges his people are facing when he is ruling you from somewhere else? What type of leadership is that? How can you be a leader in the East, but you are in the North ruling? It is an irony of the failure of black man's leadership. It is very, very important that we understand that in Africa mostly there is no democracy. Democracy in Africa is a sham. They are deceiving us, because if you look at it, the people who are making sure that this democracy does not thrive in Africa, it is actually the West who claim they are the promoters of democracy. They are the ones sabotaging the democracy from happening in Africa. Because amongst them, they put in place a law that makes them not to violate the right of their people. And they claim that African countries are signatories to these laws that governs leaders, that governs human rights activities. But when it comes to Africa, for that law to begin to work in Africa, you will find that law being cold like an ice block. The law will be cold like ice block. Because, do you know why? The people who are causing this violation of your right It is the Western countries, the makers of this law and promoters, so-called promoters of democracy. Because when you resolve to anarchy, they will not control you. When you resolve to what do you call it? This military rule, they don't even control you. But as long as there is democracy there, that is the system they implement to use it to manipulate. Number one is that you will never ever understand what democracy is. You will never play it. It will never be in benefit of those it is established for. But it will work in benefit of those that it is established, indirectly against. Because democracy is supposed to work in favor of a citizen, not in favor of a leader. Because the democracy is the right of a citizen to decide whom they want to bestow authority on. So in a situation whereby they have to manipulate this democracy to favor the person who the democracy is not supposed to favor, but rather the person who the democracy is supposed to be used to be, to bring to account, they favor that person more. Because when they violate human rights, they will not talk about it. But when you come out and say no, you are now anti-LGBTQ, all of them will stir up their ugly head. They will stir up their ugly head. They will start talking. But when you come up to start killing your own citizen, arresting people who did not commit any crime, just their crime is exercising their franchise within the ambit of democracy. Now, they will be violated. But when they are actually pushing this agenda that will never work in your benefit or benefit you anything, rather it will destroy lives, slowly but surely, those are the type of things that they will start telling you it is anti-democracy, it is against, it is a human right abuse. But killing people is not human right abuse. Killing people is not human right abuse. So when you look at these things, you find out that democracy it is actually a sham. It is a fraud in Africa. It is a big weapon that they are using to destroy Africa continent, because it will never work the way they have established it. They establish it to work and work in the favor of them and against us. That is the reason why you will see Hope Uzodimma forcing himself, going to bribe people with an amount of 100,000 naira. 100,000 naira. Just to get into the position of leadership one more time. Who in their right mind or right, sense is going to even give it a thought, including all these traditional rulers that he is going to be buying with the money he stole from Imo State, from the oil that is coming out of Imo land. Who is in their right mind going to actually consider you as a traditional ruler? Maybe you will be the one who want to consider Hope Uzodimma coming back, because he promised you that he will remember you. He will give you more title, because they have bastardized traditional leadership. They have bastardized it. Instead of these traditional rulers talking about customary court, trying to promote traditional courts, where they have right to try what is going on in their villages, in their communities, They don't, because they have been bastardized. It is now under democracy you choose traditional ruler. It is no longer the gods of the land choosing traditional ruler for you. These are people who come to destroy what you have. Your greatness, they destroy it and replace it with their bastards. That's exactly what they do. Traditional rulers now, whom are supposed to be respected by governors, are being controlled by governors. Traditional rulers, whom the governors, they will tell you only of Ife, these are traditional rulers. They are respected by even the governors. But in Biafra land, your traditional rulers, governors took them and put inside their pockets. Governors put the traditional rulers inside their pockets. They will remember them when they want to do election campaign. The traditional ruler for them to influence their community, to come out and act as if they are voting for this particular party. Because your vote is nullified immediately after the election, then selection process will take place. That's exactly the way it is. Yet these traditional rulers, evil people, they will collect money. Let's see which traditional ruler in Imo State who is going to be, campaigning to bring Hope Uzodinma and his Ebubagu militia group back into the position of power. I believe some of these pastors, it is beginning to sink into their brain that they can no longer be used as a willing tool, because our people are no longer gullible. We are wise now. What a Togo. You people have deceived us enough, and we will no longer, tolerate such deceit. Now, it is because you are a Biafran. That is the reason why they will treat you differently, just like they are treating Emiefele. Have you seen, when you watch the Odeal of Emiefele, and how they actually treated him today, you will understand now there is something fundamentally wrong with Nigeria system. There is something wrong with the Nigeria system and with the way Biafrans are being treated in Nigeria. Let me bring you the video. Let me bring you this video so that you will see exactly what we are talking about. The same thing that they did to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. DSS is overstepping their boundary. That is the reason why they started fighting with the correctional service. This is one of the video. Let us actually look at one of What you are seeing right here, it is the video that emanated from court, where Emiefele was granted a bail of 20 million, and the process is being carried out. The DSS arrived at the facility to armed to their tooth, heavily armed DSS, even mask their faces, just to it's a kind of to abduct Emiefele from the courtroom back to the DSS facility, even though when court has granted him bail, that he's supposed to automatically go into the facility of correctional facilities. While the bail is being processed, the DSS rushed down into the court in order to take this man, to abduct this man once more. This is outside a courtroom. The rule of law is not respected. The rule of law is undermined. There are many, there are many countries, there are countries that believe that their rule of law is very, very, that the rule of law is working against them, and they are resolving to anarchy. They are resolving to anarchy most of the time. And those countries, you see that they claim that their rule of law is not working, resolving to anarchy. The day they will understand, what it means to undermine a rule of law, to undermine a rule of law, the repercussion therein, that comes with undermining a rule of law, that is the day they will ever regret what they have done. I don't want to mention the names of these countries, but we will continue to move. Now, I want you to see how the rule of law is undermined. The DSS is now working like mafias. They are no longer working like people who work for the state. They work more of like mafias, more than working like people who work for the state, who work, who are law enforcers. They are acting as if the law is enforcing them, instead of them enforcing the law. Or they are lawmakers. They act like they are lawmakers, not the law enforcers. That is exactly the role the DSS is playing in Nigeria. They always flout the court order. The reason best known to the DSS, there has never been any intelligent report that come out of DSS that is authentic. The DSS is supposed to be working hand in hand with the federal government. They are supposed to be the special squad for the government, this intelligent, unit for the government. But not this DSS. This DSS is just up and running, looking for where they will violate the right of people. And I don't know now, I am beginning to discover or to uncover the reason why the DSS is always wanting, these high-profile people to be in their facility. I believe there is something they are benefiting from the high-profile people, because the way they were fighting today in the court premises, just to take Emiefele back to the DSS facility, even when the court has granted him bail. There is something about it. Of course, I know that I am speaking to myself, because if there is any intelligent, department in Nigeria, or in any lawmaking department in Nigeria that will reason what I am saying, they will understand that the reason why it is not about them being more sophisticated. They are not sophisticated. There is nothing sophisticated about them. There is nothing sophisticated about them. Look at, if you believe that DSS is too sophisticated, is it because they are masking themselves that make them sophisticated? Masking their faces just to look like a boogeyman. Is it maybe what makes you think they are sophisticated? Is it because they are using a Glock? A Glock is a short pistol. This DSS, gun that those gun that is like look beautiful, fancy. It is a Glock in a casing. That is a pistol. It's a piece in a casing. So when you look at it, you will say, no, they are so special. They will wear black eyeglass, dress like criminals, and they will hold their gun without laughing. You will think that these people does not bleed. There is nothing sophisticated about DSS. but there is a serious syndicate of corrupted they are running a syndicate in there. They are now becoming a political thugs. That is the reason why they get their benefit whenever a high profile individual is arrested, or a high profile individual is actually taken into custody. They will want this high profile individual to be in their own custody. Does it mean that even kita Jesu onye afu kwanyuru anya ogbo abo? And what exactly is going on? Because DSS is not I don't think they are more sophisticated than correctional center. Correctional center is where you find different type of criminals. Correctional facility where a government built specially for criminals. But if you go to correctional center in Nigeria, you find only innocent people. Criminals are on the street, or criminals are holding guns, defending the state. Criminals are called the law enforcers. The innocent people are in the correctional service facilities. So, now, the reason why they cannot place a high-profile individual in correctional center, it is because the people who they place innocent people in correctional center, and they don't bother about security. Maybe they don't bother about security of this correctional center. Now, when they place high, profile individual, there is no security for them to, that will keep him there. Maybe they will take bribe and release him. I don't know. I am trying to actually get my fingers to exactly the reason why the DSS is always fighting for their, for them to, detain the high-profile individuals. Why? Why are they going through that trouble when they can hand them over to the correctional center? Why? Now you will now begin to understand what exactly is going on. Emiefele, I don't know what he called Emiefele or Emiefele, is a Nigeria politician or a Nigeria Reserve Bank or Central Bank governor. Central Bank governor is Emiefele, that was suspended and was arrested, was abducted, because you call it an arrest. Once you arrest somebody and present them to court within 48 hours, anything that is outside the ambit of the law, it's a crime. That's why you can call it abduction. He was abducted from his own premises or wherever they got him from, and they placed him in the DSS custody. The DSS now have to be, there has to be a public outcry for the DSS to take this man to court. So, if Nigeria is a place where the justice system is respected, Emiefele can actually easily go and sue the DSS, sue the state for unlawful detention, illegal detention, abduction and illegal detention, because that's exactly what they did against him. That's exactly what they did against him. But if the DSS will not acknowledge his bail that he is released on bail, how will the DSS acknowledge the fact that they are violating his right? Because these DSS, they don't know what the rule of law is. They are above the law. They can pick up anybody and do whatever they want with that individual. Just like you are seeing here. People are screaming, they want to kill Emiefele. They want to kill Emiefele. Watch this video.
The vehicle of the Nigerian Correctional Service and the vehicle of the DSS side by side, it remains to be seen who will actually take him away from the port to their custody. Drama, Promax, loading.
Today, Emiefele has had his day in court.
Now, did you see how the only thing these security operatives they know, it is when it comes to people, who are not harmful, just like Mazen Namdekan. But you hearing people asking them Boko Haram is out there, wreaking havoc. They will not even go out there to intimidate the Boko Haram. When a Boko Haram is arrested, they will not fight to keep this Boko Haram member in their DSS custody so that they don't release him or he doesn't escape. They don't fight. These are dangerous people who are actually physically danger to the community, to the country. DSS will not fight to keep them, to secure them, to make sure their shadow does not pass any other person's shadow. DSS does not do that. But those people that they believe that doesn't pose danger, that they know that doesn't pose danger to the world, to the community, rather, those people that are harmless, those are what the DSS will want to keep, just to torture them or to give them special treatment or to actually be milking money out of them. One of the two. There is something that is behind them fighting to be the one to keep these high profile cases. Now let's watch this one before I show you how they embarrassed a correctional facility, correctional or prison warder. How they embarrassed him to the extent that some of the correctional service officers, they actually had to retreat to go and equip themselves. They went back to their base to equip themselves with military weapon or weapon of war to return back to the court. That's exactly what happened. Listen to what this lawyer has to say.
He was arraigned today, this morning, and he has been granted bail graciously by his lordship. They arraigned him on a 2-count charge, very ridiculous charge, bordering on illegal possession of firearm. Gentlemen of the press, if you know the firearm that we are talking about, it is the kind of gun that the likes of Christopher Columbus and Mungo Park used during their days. This is the kind of gun that the SSS exhibited in their proof of evidence. This is how low that organization has turned itself to be. Ladies and gentlemen, but the good news is that Godwin Emiefele has been granted bail by the court on very liberal terms. Very liberal terms, and as we speak today, he's about to perfect the bail conditions. But we are hearing from the grapevine, and this is the reason why we have come to address you, members of the press, because we know what you stand for. The DSS, in fact, let me also add that the court gave an order again to say that Emiefele should be remanded pending when he perfects his bail, should be remanded in the prison, correctional center. But this one would have expected that, having had that order of court, the DSS would vacate this place with immediate effect. But as you can see behind me, they are there, they are hooded. I do not know why they will be hooded to intimidate Nigerians. We refuse to be intimidated. Gentlemen of the press, this is why you are here. Ours is to talk. Our voices can no longer be the low cry in the wilderness. There comes a time in life when silence is no longer golden.
Wow. You have spoken well. You have spoken well. There comes a time when silence is no longer golden. There comes a time when silence is no longer golden. Of course, that's why we've been speaking, because if we keep quiet, you die. If you keep silent, you die. Silent is no longer golden. That is exactly what we are, making us to come out and scream on top of our voices every day. A DSS. Have you now seen it? What could be the interest that they are dragging for them to be the ones going into this trouble of protecting these people from escaping? What could be the reason? So when you look at these people, I don't know what exactly it is the problem. I don't understand. Maybe you that is watching, you may understand. Maybe you can write it in the comment section. Maybe you know what is the reason why these people are forcing it to be the ones to keep high-profile individuals. Or is it because which one? What exactly is the reason? Are they benefiting from this? Are they having any special benefits from detaining, so that we will know where we will place these people? But they don't get moved by their attire, covering their faces. Of course, you know that it is criminal that used to cover their faces, not the law enforcers. So maybe that's the reason why you might even get moved by the way they look. But the most important thing is that, what is their interest? Now, Buhari is not yet 2 months in the position of leadership. There is already a chaos everywhere. There is already a chaos everywhere. What about when he spent 1 year in that position of leadership? What is going to be like? Asari Dokubo, on the other hand, threatening Nigeria, telling you will collect woto if you are, maybe should I say, disgruntled about the leadership of his master, that you will collect woto, that Tinubu has been a father figure in his life for 30 years. Asari Dokubo did not know his father. That Tinubu become a father figure in his life for 30 years. Was he a bastard that somebody else will be a father figure? Because it takes a person who does not know his father to look for a father figure in another person. That is the reason why they have to work in order to run a mafia state. Because after Asari Dokubo, we know is a mafia. All this shenanigan going on in Nigeria is definitely wrong with you. If you have not started changing and the way you do stuff. Listen.
DSS. This is a court of law.
There's been a little tussle here, and the atmosphere is not clear towards what will be the stand of Emiefele.
What?
The one you kill, don't deny.
Officials and the DSS who will take charge or who will take into position Mr. Godwin Emiefele. I can stated clear that the actions of the DSS are illegal. As you can see, that's the commander.
What?
This is what the DSS has done.
See what DSS has done Nigeria to. See what DSS has done Nigeria to. See what DSS has done Nigeria to. See them. See what DSS has done Nigeria to.
This is what DSS has turned the country into. DSS, shame on you.
So what you are seeing here is the Nigeria State Security Service, SSS. SSS. This is the this law enforcers that work there directly with the state. They are supposed to be the intelligence of the state. They are like FBI in Nigeria. Did you see the type of thing they are doing? Acting like rogues. These people, the way they carry themselves, they're supposed to be the people who obey the law in Nigeria more than every other person, because they are working hand in hand with the state, with the federal government, and they are the ones who actually are, making sure that the government officials are brought to book. But them themselves allow themselves to be used by political parties to conduct illegal activities. Then who watches the watchman? If these people who are supposed to be watching the watchman are the ones who allow themselves for the watchman to use them as criminals, who watches the watchman? Now you are in a mighty mess as a Nigerian. You see what they were doing? I believe it is a correctional service staff that they were tearing apart like that. They were tearing apart. They actually tore his clothes. You could only see his vest. The vest inside. Look at it.
As you can see, there's a heated argument between men of the Nigerian Correctional Service who the court had asked to take possession of the suspended CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emiefele. But the DSS are adamant and are allowed their into their hands. They are insisting not to take into consideration and not to take into order the court's judgments. They've been present since the arraignment process of the suspended CBN governor.
That is to show there is something they are benefiting specially. And fana kunde correctional service aka here. They are actually obscuring the correctional service from benefiting or from actually, which is exactly something that fall within their jurisdiction. The DSS are taking it because there is some benefit coming out of detainees. Maybe DSS, when they detain people they call criminal, they detain them and use them as a money-making scheme. I want people to, if you, maybe you have been there, you know how they work. Do you have to pay DSS for you before you see their, the person they have called a criminal? Do you have to pay them money before you see somebody that they are detaining? Why are they fighting to detain people? Even when court set those people free, DSS will continue to hold them. What exactly is going on? These are questions that our people, those you one Nigerianists will continue begin to ask yourselves. Because if you claim you are one Nigeria and you don't have the stomach or the audacity to hold those your leaders of one Nigeria to account, you are like a human being, a dead body that is actually, you are like a human being smelling like a dead body. That's exactly what you are like. If you say that you are one Nigeria, prove it that you are one Nigeria by holding your leaders to account. Yet if you say that there is no other country we have except this one, prove it by going out there to hold your leaders to account, not allowing few individuals to violate your right. Yet you come and shout to one Nigeria, tomorrow it will be better. And we need the God to help us in this our only one country we have. Every day you have one country. You only have one, but you cannot even make a move. You cannot even do anything that is going to work according to your favor. People are not respecting the rule of law. If court set you free, DSS rearrest you. Can you imagine? Court to set you free, law enforcers now override the verdict of the court and rearrest you. Is that a nation or a banana republic? That's exactly what they do all the time. But Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be set free soon. Let us see what the DSS is going to do again. He will be set free by the court. Let us see what DSS is going to do again. Because if you look around you, they have actually started promoting, perpetrating, pushing their propaganda. Each time Mazen Nnamdi Kanu court case is nearing, they start peddling their lies and deceits and propaganda, cheap blackmails. That's what they do, and they are doing it through their agent provocateur. And that their agent provocateur is pushing their agenda using the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to commit criminalities in our land. And that's why we are clamping down on every criminal activities that has been perpetrated in our land. We are clamping down on it. We are actually making sure we keep our land very clean and very calm, because these people are the reason why we are fighting. We cannot be fighting for people and going back and making them to go through poverty, which we are fighting to bring them out of. We cannot be fighting for people and turning, against them to impoverish them or to make them as if we are dictators. We are dictating for them, military regime. No. We are fighting to give them freedom, not to take their freedom away from them. So that's why they have introduced agent provocateur, so to continue to act like we are fighting to confiscate their freedom. That's exactly what you see. That's why we must continue to clamp down on their crime, regardless of what it is going to take us. We continue to clamp down on their crime. And we will get Biafra, regardless of what they think or do about it. We must surely get Biafra. And all those people who are committing crime against Biafra, including Master Prophet, that criminal that insults Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's wife. Yet, the same Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the man that made you relevant. Who was supposed to know you? That you see in a Siofo Koloma for Obono Balomili in a Gosia in a TV. Or for Obono Balomili is in age £500 to see, or $500. Who is supposed to know a non-entity like you? You go about insulting the wife of the man who made you relevant, when the man have never come to tell us he is no longer, interested in the wife, or he is no longer married to the wife. You are the one who is actually coming to tell us that the wife is betrayed Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, just because you married the sister arranged to you by Canon Takano. Maybe Canon Takano believed that you will pray for him to become Afaluki Beku king. As Afaluki Bek. That is maybe what two of you were. But I don't blame you. We will continue to climb down on criminality in our land, regardless of who is involved. And our people, all these governors, we will hold you accountable if anything happened to any Biafrans. Be it military activities, we will hold you accountable, and it has consequences. We cannot lose our people anymore. Our people must be protected at all costs. We cannot be allowing criminals to come into our land in the name of military to go and kill our people. It is very, very necessary that they know it. This is exactly what I thought I might come to share with you. Until we meet again, stay safe. Stay informed. Share this video. Like the video. Don't forget to follow us on that Facebook page and subscribe to that YouTube channel. We're not having a good reception today, so we will not continue until we meet again. Bye for now.